After the break, world champ Geordie Smith joins filmmaker Jason Hearn on a 2-year safari into the history of African surfing.
Filmmaker and surfer Jason Hearn now knows why they say "Oos Wes, Tuis Bes." Abroad for a decade, he looked homeward in search of inspiration and found it in small towns like Elandsbay, one of the stars of his new feature, the Africa Film Project.
Already a well-established commercial filmmaker in everything from sport to fashion, Jason Hearn recently finished an exciting surfing feature called The Path. Now he's on a new journey.
Okay, well the concept is to basically go to the four corners of Africa and just see Africa through the eyes of a surfer.
Who all was involved?
We pretty much got all the best surfers in the country, just to name a few: Royden Bryson, Geordie Smith, Ricky Basnett, Sean Jabet. Then on the creative side of things, Greg Ewing, one of South Africa's top surf photographers, he's shared the passion and the vision of this project the whole way through, and he's captured some really magical moments on the still side of things. But there's actually more reason why we're in Elandsbay here, and if you follow me, I'll show you why.
The man who lived here was featured in the godfather of surf films, Endless Summer. And a member of Jason's crew had a personal reason for wanting to pick up the story.
Caleb, I remember listening to the Surf Report on the radio as a kid, and there was John Whitmore's voice. He really became the father of surfing in South Africa.
Funny you say that, Aidan. Actually, not only is he the father of surfing, but also my grandfather. And there was this thing that I wanted to show Jason, and it was footage that he had stored in his history of times back in the 1960s where they were making trips up and down the coast. And that's what brought me into my excitement of leading this over to Jason and saying, hey, have a look at this and see what we can make from here.
What really inspired me from this footage was them seeing each other from car to car and just documenting what they were doing and experiencing at the time, all those years ago at the beginning of surfing. And I've really got Caleb to thank for just igniting the initial spark for the film.
The American crew of Endless Summer called the surf off Cape St. Francis the most perfect waves in the world. 40 years on, Jason decided Africa had to have more of these. So from North Africa to Mozambique, they went in search of perfection.
You've done a lot of traveling in this project. What are some of the places that stuck out in your mind?
Places like Morocco, for me, absolutely stand out. It was, it's a place where you're on this sort of rugged coastline that's got amazing waves, and then you're sort of getting lost in the souks in the deep sort of thickness of Marrakesh. And an hour later, you're cruising up the Atlas Mountains and snowboarding. So, this all happens and can happen one day in Morocco, and I think it's one of the only places in Africa that this sort of really stands to be true. And another place that really stands out in my head is Senegal. There as well, there's a nice story where there's two local guys there that when they start out surfing, their parents said to them, look, surfing's for the white man, what are you doing? You need to go out, get a job and support the family. And now surfing's become their job, they're guides. They take all the tourists around, they love having the guides there, and we had Ricky and Royden Bryson on board there, and the locals were just blown away by the level of surfing there.
Surfing is all about the search. Did you find the perfect wave?
We went on a shoot to J-Bay with Twiggy Baker and Andrew Langer. And Twiggy got a call saying, there's this big swell coming, and the next thing I was in the car driving 18 hours towards the Namibian border. Came around a corner and there was this wave in front of us. No one had ever seen a wave, like this. So it was amazing for them to just looking for one wave and coming across another, which it's a nice new story for the film. It's something I hadn't planned on, couldn't have scripted better. But Namibia has possibly the best wave in the world. It's a sandbar that just runs for 2 kilometers and the wave does not stop. So this wave, it blew people's minds.
So where exactly is this?
Cannot tell you. If you watch the film, you can, if you can notice a piece of sand, you might be able to find it. Try find it.
Filming famous swimwear and lingerie shoots for TV, Jason's seen all the eye candy a man can get. On the Africa Film Project, it's the continent that's the beauty.
So Jason, you were recently in Reunion.
Reunion's just off the east coast of Africa, and as a filmmaker, it's a dream place to film. It's one minute you're standing in a lush waterfall, the next minute you're standing in the crater of a volcano. So it's a very diverse place, and as far as filmmaking, a dream location, and to top it all off, there's beautiful coral reefs, and the waves there were amazing for the whole 10-day stretch.
This board's really cool, but it's getting super heavy. Why do we bring it?
Well, the reason for that board is we're at the end of the shoot for the whole movie. So we're down here in Elandsbay. Yeah. This is where John Whitmore sort of passed away, and it's the spot he found back in the late 50s. So I want to test something in the film that sort of dates back to bringing something from the past, being ridden in the future.
Yeah.
And we have Geordie Smith, who's one of the best surfers in the world right now with us. So we're just going to get him on a couple of small waves and see how he fares on the old equipment.
The first SA Pro to win an ASP World Tour event since Sean Thompson, Geordie Smith is happy to be part of this history.
Geordie, you've been involved in Jason's project. What do you think of the concept?
It's important to know, your past and things like that, especially where surfing's come from. And yeah, I think, you got to know where you come from to know where you're going.
As Jason, Geordie, Caleb and the crew tell their own story, they also tell that of John Whitmore, who pioneered surfboard manufacture as well as introducing boogie boards and Hobie cats to South Africa. Increasingly, Jason has given Geordie an idea of the heritage he rides.
He kind of travelled a lot with me last year. He came to France and he got a lot of really good clips there. Yeah, it's just kind of been a great journey travelling with him.
Cool. For me, it's utmost important to have Geordie in the movie. I mean, there is no movie without Geordie, because right now he's, along with Sean Thompson, the best surfer that's ever come to our country.
To blend in with the original 1950s 8mm footage, Jason's filmed several aspects of the current surfer's lifestyle on the old film stock, shaping up for a classic.
Well guys, it's been fantastic sharing this day with you, and I can only be jealous that every day on the shoot must have been like this.
From the moment Caleb showed me the footage of his grandfather and his friends, way back in the day, just kind of doing what we've just done the last 2 years, it's been quite a journey, and more than just about making a film, it's been an experience, a life experience. For myself, I've learned more about Africa, its people and its places, and to work with great surfers, it's something that you can't put into words, and hopefully the film will visually portray that to the viewer and just take the viewer on a journey around Africa.
So keep an eye out for the release of the Africa Film Project, just as soon as they finish surfing.